Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? Say hi, wave your hand. Give me some kind of signal. You can hear me and you can see me. Who all's in the room? Tell us who you are. And hi, Robin. Tell us where you're from. You never know. I might be in your neck of the woods sometime. Awesome. Is it cool up there? We're scorching where I'm at. I'm going to melt. I could lose a few pounds if I'd melt quite a few pounds. Hi, Mary. Make sure y'all click that thumbs up. We got 5 watching. It's cooler. It's 91 here. Can I send you some? Hi, Jeremy. How hot is it down there where you're at, Jeremy? Hi, RD. It's cooler there than it is here. Hi, Denise. Awesome. Well, we hope we can teach you a few things today. We're going to teach people some tricks. 78 near Sacramento. Awesome. I'm going to Sacramento. Hi, Kathleen. It's cloudy there. It's sunshine here. We keep praying for rain, but everybody's getting it but us. We're not getting any. Ah, Mary's actually how you found us. Awesome. Thank you, Mary. So you're going to join our beginner shuttle tatting class? That starts in June. If you're going to sign up, Pam will be here shortly. She'll get you signed right up. There's still some openings. Thank you, Mary. I do appreciate it, honey. It goes a long way. Yeah, I got some fun stuff cooked up for the beginner class. We're going to have us a ball. We're going to learn all kinds of goodies. It's in and out for you. Sometimes it does that. It depends on the internet. I run off satellite internet. Hi, Carol. Um, so sometimes it does that. We use Starlink. Everybody is. It could be. I mean, it's either side. I just look at it like this. Electronics are built to drive us crazy. That's confirmed. Yeah, Mary's a lot of fun in class. Make sure y'all tell us where you're from. Give us a thumbs up, like, click that like button. It helps our algorithm. We got some good news today. I'm going to share with y'all. And I got some goodies that I want to share with y'all. Hi, Teresa. Teresa, after class, I'll call you. I got some things to tell you. Mr. Bennett, is he coming yet? Well, it was a dream to teach you, Mary. Don't think it wasn't. You're a quick learner. Okay, it'll be a few. We'll wait for you. Derby. Hello. Was you in that mix of storms the other day? I heard that a lot of people got hit hard by them tornadoes and stuff. Keep all them people in your prayers. I mean, some of them, their houses that have been there for 100 years is now a pile of toothpicks. I've seen some of the videos. It's just terrible. This weather's going to be just ridiculous, I guess, this year. You're from North Carolina? You should have went to 10 days last year, young lady. You'd have saw me. You'd have saw Georgia. She was there. Oh, by the way, folks, Georgia's coming this year. I got wind of it. I'm hoping to get to go. We don't know yet because my son's wedding's the 2nd of September and Cat Days is the 11th. And Dennis has got to see if it can work with his job. If not, then we may have to work around things to get there. We'll see. Teresa says we can work this out. That's what she tells me all the time. I just say, okay. I figured 2 brains is better than 1. And mine's only a half a brain, so there you go. By the way, folks, I got rid of the nubs, the nails. It was an accident. I was making a bag for someone and I accidentally, my nails were super long. As you all well know, they just grow like wildweed. And I was using my rotary cutter and right across one of them, I said, oops. Missed the finger though. That's a good thing. And so I says, well, I guess I got to file them suckers down because it looks funny. Looks like I chopped off half of my finger. So we whacked them off. And that's cool. And Kelly's back. Awesome. So we got a few minutes. We're waiting for a few more. Anybody got any questions from last week? Shall I get that wave done? I'm still working on mine. I broke my thread. Don't ask me. That ball of thread, it dawned on me after about the 4th try. There's something wrong with the thread. I'm trying. I really am. I'm trying. My doctor's not happy with me, and I'm not happy with me. Derby, I used to weigh 126 pounds. And then when I took my mom in and was taking care of mom, she wouldn't eat unless I ate. And I didn't eat much. And she determined how much I was supposed to eat. Hey, Dennis, can you bring me my medicine? Hi, Corinne. So, it just packed on. And then when she passed and my sister passed, I had all them deaths. It was like, yeah, it's done and over with. Thank you. I'll keep it in here. Yeah, I get to take medicine every 2 hours because I'm fat. Actually, my medicine's quit working. They can't find nothing yet. I hear Corinne's happy about getting into the new classes, beginner classes. Now, Pam heard from Panina. When Panina is ready to step in, she will step into my shoes for the beginner classes. Okay. But we got to get all the ducks in a row. She's working on some personal business, but she will be stepping in. Hi, Diane. Welcome. You're a new student, correct? We're getting a lot of new ones, which is awesome sauce. Okay, Teresa, just give me a wave when Mr. Bennett comes out to the car so I can say, hello, Mr. Bennett. I got to check on him every day. He's a smart kid. I got to make sure they're teaching him right. Hi, Pam. Pam, you got some work to do. We got a couple of new students. They want to sign up with us for the classes, for beginner classes. So put the information out there that they need to get to you, okay? Is he in the car? Is he in the car? Is he in the car? I get excited to talk to him. He really is a very smart kid. Okay. Teresa has sent me video of, him playing in the orchestra. Oh my gosh, this kid's good. This kid's good. Don't think he's not. He is going to go places that I can guarantee you. He's going to be somebody, and his name's going to be known by everybody, which is the best thing since sliced cheese. I got news for you. Give them the addresses, Pam. Website and all. You just walked in. I can tell you're behind the times. All right, folks, let me give you some good information today. I got this. Hi, Linda. I got this yesterday. This is the class stats as it stands right now since the beginning of January. Hi, Bennett. Did you have a good day in school? Did they teach you a lot? I hope you have a good night, Bennett. And we'll talk later, all right? All right. Everybody say hi to Mary Jane. She's in the house and she's watching. I love it when he calls me Miss Tammy. I do. I get a kick out of that. All right. Happy to have you. Another new one. Awesome. All right. Now, let me tell you all these goodies going on here. They sent me my stats. This is since January. Okay. We have 2,640 students registered to this channel. Okay. Which brings our total up for all the channels to 90,000 subscribers. Give ourselves a hand. We have done great. Now, here is another factoid for you. Let her get through barking. Why is she barking?
You make like a knocking noise or something?
Probably. I'm in here teaching.
Yeah. I think she thought it was somebody.
She's so vicious. She is. She's so vicious. She's every bit of 10 pounds soaking wet. So, now, you ready for how many views we've had since January, folks? You ready for this? 97,609 views over the 248 videos I have on the Clash channel alone. That's just the Clash channel. Now, how happy is that? We are growing by leaps and bounds. I know, Jeremy, it's awesome. When I did the channel, the videos for Georgia, we hit 178,000 views. I'm hoping that's our goal this time. Hit that and surpass it. Okay? So, y'all go watch them videos. Watch the videos. That's all I'm saying. Just watch the videos. And we'll keep growing. Now, that's out of the way. Now, I'm going to flip this camera down because I got some purdies to show you. I got some purdies. I got my order from Handy Hands. Y'all are going to like this. Let me switch cameras. And we're down on the desktop. Check out this. I ain't going to show you nothing till we get it down here. Yeah, you ready? Check out these two. Are those not the most gorgeous colors you've laid your eyes on? Aren't they beautiful? And I got news for you. These are metallics. Okay? These are different than the other metallics that she carries that are Elizabeth thread. This is a new version of it. And I tatted myself a little ring. Now, I haven't put it in my sample book yet, but I want you to look. Let me get this open. This is the neat part. You got a place to lock your thread in when you're not tatting with it. You just raise it up here and unwind. Okay? Oh, look at this. Look at the stiffness on this. Now, y'all want to make jewelry? Make you some jewelry. That is a ton of thread. Do you know how much jewelry you could make with all this? We are talking, if you was just doing the wave earrings, 400 or 500 pair, and this is 20. This is 20. And look at that, how dainty it is. But the shine on this thread is just totally amazing. And it tatted up beautifully. I didn't get that kink that you get with metallics. It didn't kink up. And it's smooth as silk. When you run your hand across it, it is smooth as silk. So, you guys need to go get you some. If you're going to get into jewelry making, get you some of this metallic because it's gorgeous. And she's got several colors to choose from. Okay? There'll probably be more if it's a hit commodity. So, get y'all some. But I like the way that you can store your thread. I wished that she did all of her threads using this method, even if it was a smaller bobbin to hold it, because your thread gets tangled up and nasty if it's running around in a bin or something, and we've got to come up with inventive ways to keep it tangled free. This is a neat way to do that. I'd be willing to pay extra for the ball of thread to have something like this to keep my thread, you know, from causing me 10,000 headaches. That was the purple. This is the iridescent white. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Can you imagine this as snowflakes? Imagine the reflection off of these, the tree, the lights. These threads are from Handy Hands. It's Handy Hands Tatting. It's hhtatting.com. Barb just came out with these. These are well worth their weight in gold because the amount you're getting. Okay? So, yeah, y'all go out there and get you some of this. This one here is Frosted Pastel. Now, if you look close at it, let me get it up here so y'all can see. It got a light shining on it, but it's got peach in there. It's got some purple and some faded blues, and there is a little bit of green, and it's all in there because of the way that the thread dyed. As it blended from one color to the next, it brought in these other colors. This one I love. This would have a really good beachy feel to it, okay? So if you're going to the beach and you want to wear your jewelry, remember this stuff here is waterproof. Okay. Metallics are waterproof because you wear your jewelry out there. This is the same thing as the metals your jewelry is made out of, just not copper. It's just not gold and silver. You can get gold and silver metallics, but you're going to pay a chunk for them. But this works on that same line. Okay. So you can wear this out in the water if you went to the beach. So with that said, that is our share for the day. Okay. Now, today we are going to work on a couple of patterns. First of all, this little gorgeous pretty. This is Eileen Stafford, and she runs a website called Colorado Lean. Okay. And if you notice, she's got her name down here. It says Lean. She wrote this pattern. Now, I've done this pattern a blue million and one times. It's easy peasy. Okay. But it has potential. And if you read here, she says it's just not finished. Okay. Well, that made me think. Harala did one of Gail Weaver's patterns, and she took the center of that pattern and she made a mug rug because she liked the design of the pattern. Well, after she made the mug rug, she took this beautiful edging here and she put it around the mug rug, and it turned out to be so adorable. It looked like a little flower. You'd sit your mug down in the middle and the flower come up around the bottom of your mug. And it was just too cute. So, needless to say, this is what we're doing. We're going to make us this doily here. Okay? And we're going to put this edging here on it. All right? And I'm going to show you how to do that, because most people, when they I want this, but how would I use this? Well, you can mix patterns. That doesn't make it a new pattern, okay? If you mix them, they're still two separate patterns, but you can mix them together and come up with something very unique, okay? And as long as you give credit to both designers, when you do that, you have not violated any copyright by combining the two. Okay? You can write instructions up for it. Okay? And use that for other things. Because there are some edgings out there that are just upstandingly beautiful. Okay? But you don't use trims on your pillowcases anymore. Most times our pillowcases is trampled by kids and dogs and cats. And you don't want a cat messing with your tatting on a pillowcase that you've worked so hard on. So we don't do that anymore. We don't have doilies because, again, we have messy kids and messy animals and messy husbands. Okay, let's just put it out there. Men make more mess than kids, I have to say. Okay, just teasing Jeremy. But we don't put tatting out like we used to back in the day, because it takes so long to tat up something very beautiful. It has to be a specific special piece. So what would you use material wise to make this doily into a mug rug and put a trim on it so that you don't feel like you're wasting thread and time? Yep. So with that said, here's what we do. We pick out a inexpensive thread, something like Aunt Lydia's. Okay. You can use size 10, size 20, size 30. Just remember, the larger the number, the smaller the thread. And if you get a size 40 thread, it's going to be super small. It will change the dynamics of your pattern. Just because the pattern says it takes size 30, you can do it in 20, you can do it in 10, you can do it in 100. If you really want to torture yourself, knock yourself out, get you some 100 thread and have fun. Let me know how it goes. I'm just teasing, folks. 100 is the size of sewing thread. All right. And for something like this, yes, delicate, use the 100. But if you're using it for everyday use, that's a throwaway, get you some cheap 20. Okay? And make it out of that. That way, if it gets stained, you can throw it away. All right? You don't miss it. And then you get to have fun making it again. But if it was me, I'd make it this time in one color, and then I'd change the color because I love color. Okay? So today we're going to work on that. It's not going to take long. All you brand new beginners, you can do this. So everybody got their shuttles together? Have you got your shuttles ready to rock and roll? Because I want to show you something. And I want you to answer my question when I ask it. Now, I got 2 shuttles here wrapped. Let me move that thread. By the way, today's thread is Elizabeth 20, color number 660, and it's called Turquoise Light. All right. Now, we're going to need us a picot gauge. Let's see if we can't find us a picot gauge somewhere here. I know I got one somewhere in here. Picot gauge, where you at? See if I can get it. Oh, goodness gracious alive. You can tell I'm really with it today. It's been a hectic day this morning. There they are. There's my picot gauge. Got my picot gauge. You can use those, or you can use the Handy Hands picot gauge. Doesn't matter. You're going to need a shuttle. You're going to need a pair of scissors. And you're also going to need your trusty crochet hook. Okay, that one will work. I got my little minion. He's always with me. My grandkids love minions. I do too. I think they're cute. Okay, so what? I'm a grandma and I like minions. All right, now we got our picot gauges. We got our shuttles. Now for this pattern, when we start it, we want it in what they call a continuous thread method. Now, if you're going to go continuous thread method, you want the ends together like this. There's, they're connected to each other. They're not going nowhere. They're connected. Now, if I take shuttle 1 here, okay, and I attach that thread to shuttle 2 here by tying a knot, what do you think's going to happen? Are we going to have continuous thread method? This, by the way, is size 10 thread here. The pink and white is 10. Is that continuous thread method? Even though we've got a knot in there, is it continuous thread? Teresa, you're right. It is continuous thread. Whether you use a knot to join the 2 together or you wind 2 shuttles, it's still continuous thread. Now, what if this was attached to the ball and I had a shuttle attached on the other end of this? Would that be continuous thread? Yes. So, as long as it's a continuous thread that goes from one item to the next, that is continuous thread method. Everybody got that? Yeah, we're going back to basics because there's some in here that need a little catch-up work. Okay? So, everybody got that? As long as the thread is continuous throughout, whether there's a knot there tying 2 colors together or not, it's continuous thread method. Give me a thumbs up if you got it right. That's all I want to know. I don't move on until I know for sure you all understand where we're going. Because this is a learning episode. And Linda, I know you're a needle tatter. Katia has needle tatting class, folks, tomorrow on her channel at Tatting Muse. Pam, if you can get the website or the YouTube channel for me, she is an affiliate of the classes. All right, we got a bunch of thumbs up. I like that when thumbs up come up. I do. It just makes. All right, now in all patterns, well, let's back that up. In majority of patterns, you're going to have what they call a legend. Okay, now this pattern, she says in size 30, it's 6.5 inches across. Now that 6.5 inches is determined by many factors: size of thread, okay, your tension, not your attention, okay, tension on the thread. You've seen her? Okay. I want you to join her class because she can teach you a lot, okay? Also, if you want to learn shuttle, hang around here, okay? Get you a shuttle. I'll teach you to shuttle tap because I'm going to tell you the same thing that Georgia taught in all of her classes for 20-something years. You need to know both tools, all right? So learn both tools because some techniques are better in shuttle than in needle, and some techniques are better in needle than in shuttle. So you need to know the basics of both and expand on the one you prefer. Okay? So let's move on. Let's get into the good juicy stuff. All right. Every pattern should have a legend. Okay? And this is her legend. She says large R is a large ring. Small r is a small ring. She's doing it simple. R is ring. Chain is CH. The little dash, that's a picot. The plus is a join. RW is reverse work. Okay? Now, these are technique terms that you use across the board, whether it's shuttle or needle. You use these techniques across the board. Yes, this pattern can be done on needle. How do I know? Because I can needle pat it too. So now we flip our page and we go over here. This is so easy. So easy peasy. All right. She says large R, large ring, 4 picot, 4 bigger picot. If you look at the dash mark, it's bigger. 4 picot, 4. Reverse work. Make the middle picot long enough for 3 joins. You will run into that more times than not. Okay? And what that means is your picot needs to be at least 3 double stitches in size. Okay? Because when you join to it, you need the space of the double stitch. Okay? So let's do that first large ring. Now I've got both of my shuttles wound. Let's get to it. Let's have some fun. And we're going to do our first 4 picot, 4 picot, 4 ring. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's right. Right. Oh, let's fix it and put in another one. Oh, no. Back that up. Now, for you that have started class today for the first time, have you ever made a double stitch in tatting at all? Let me know. Because I'm going to show you how to do a double stitch real quick like. Okay, we're going 2, 3, and 4. All right, I got 4 there. I was going to stick it in my thumb like I normally do. I need a bigger picot. Now, she says a bigger picot. So we did this one, that last picot, the 1/4 inch. We're going to move up to the bigger picot. If you use handy hands, picot gauge up here at the top, this gives you the size of your tatting needles, what they are. As long as your needle passes through the hole, that's the size that it is. It's based on handy hands tatting needles. Okay, so you can use that to measure your tatting needles as well. It double duty ruler. But what she's got here is measurements based on double stitches. Okay. Okay. Now, for you, my dear, after I get this ring in, because it just twisted sistered on me. It does that sometimes. The thread is twisty. And when the thread is twisty, guess what it does? It twists. It's trying to dance. And you just have to play with it. And then once you get it ready, finished, then you go and you drop your shuttle and shake the wiggle out of it. So we're going to put in our next picot and 4 double stitches. Give me 1 second to get this ring done. And I'm going to show you how to do a double stitch. And I want you to get you a shuttle. And I want you to get some thread. And I want you to make double stitches. Because you can't have no fun with this if you don't get no double stitches in. All right, there we go. We got them all. We're going to close our ring. All right, pull it around, keep it in the pinch, and there's our first ring. Okay, now for our new students that have never tatted before, you're going to need continuous thread method, but you need the knot. And you need 2 colors of thread. Get your 2 balls of Aunt Lydia's from Walmart and a shuttle, and you'll be fine. If you can't find a shuttle at Walmart, go on Amazon. They have a 6-pack, and it's pretty cheap. Okay. Pam, do you have the link for that? If not, can you get it? Here they are. You've got the white thread and you've got pink thread. Now, the reason you want 2 threads is because when you make your double stitch, you need to know that that thread flipped. And what I'm talking about flipping is this. You're going to wrap your hand into a loom. We're going to do a chain. Okay? Pay close attention. Now, if you need me to zoom in, I can. But you're going to take the thread, put the knot in what we call the pinch. That's these 2 fingers. They're in a pinch. That doesn't mean grab it and hold on to your life and draw, white spots on your fingers. Just hold the thread. Okay? Take it over the middle finger. Wrap it around the ring finger. Come back around your pinky finger. This 2 right here will hold the tension on your thread to make this work. Okay? See how I've got it? It went across the middle finger, over and around the ring finger, down and under the pinky finger and around. That holds our tension and also makes it easy to slide our thread when we need more. Okay? So, let's do this. You're going to take this shuttle number 1. You're going to put it in your hand. You're going to roll it just like that. You put that shuttle under that pink thread, over the pink thread, and you see the white threads on top. You want that. You want to pull it like that. You'll see it do this. Can you see that? Once it does that, release your tension on that middle finger and pull. When you pull, that pink thread is now on top. Okay? That is called the flip. All right? Thank you, Pam. Now, the second half of that. You go over the pink thread, under the pink thread, and through that loop. Drop your shuttle. You have to. No, you're not supposed to. It just drops. And then you loosen your tension, pull tight, and slide it down. Let's do it again. Folks, just give me a minute. We got to get them up to snuff here. See how I did that? Just watch what I'm doing. Now, I have a beginner video that teaches you all of this. Okay? I'm going to do it slow enough so that you can see. So you got that? See how easy that is? This is shuttle tatting. You are now officially tatting. You've got your tension. You let go of the tension to flip the thread. See? The white's on top, release the tension, pull the thread. Pink's on top. Y'all got that? Give me a thumbs up if you got it. Because if you can do this, this pattern is yours. You can do it. So I want you to practice it and then try your pattern. But what I want you to do is keep all your little snippets, all your little pieces of tatting. Put them in a zippy bag. Every time you tat, you put it in a zippy bag. You can get the cheap zippy bags at Walmart or wherever, just dollar store even. And I want you to put a label on there, the date. I want you to go back to that in a year from now and see the difference. You're going to be amazed at how well you tat in 1 year. You're going to be amazed in 3 months. I'm not joking, okay? So let's get back to this pretty little pattern here. Now, we did this row 1, okay? The first thing was the large ring. Now we've got a chain to do. It says 5 picot, 5, and reverse our work. Well, we did our ring. We closed our ring. Now we have to reverse our work. When we reverse our work, that means the top becomes the bottom, and the bottom becomes the top. Everybody got that? Bottom becomes top, and top becomes bottom. And when you do your reverse work, let me show you something. Get some slack here. Your threads are going to look like this on the back. You see, it looks funny here on the back side where the picots are. Okay? But on the front side, you have double stitches at the base of your picots. This is the front side. Okay? Hi, Harala. This is your back side. All right? When it looks different, there's no double stitches there. Yeah, maybe she will, right? She knows. She knows. Hi, Monica. So, with that said, let's get this chain done. Harold, wasn't that Gail Weaver's pattern that you did and made it pretty? You called it pretty. You did the doily and then you put the floret edging on and called it the pretty doily. Okay, I thought so. I just had to touch base to make sure my brain was working right today. All right, so we're going to put in 5 double stitches. Now, I'm going to do this traditional because we got new students. And normally I do front side, back side. I'm not doing that on this because of the new students. So, same thing. We roll that thread over our fingers, under the thread, over the thread, release the tension, pop that stitch over, and bring it down. Yeah, that went fast, didn't it? Second half, we put it in. We go over, under, through the hole. Okay? Release that tension, pop, and flip that stitch. Okay? Here's 2. 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to work today as far as we can work until class time's over. And we're going to pick up with this next week. Okay? So we got 5 double stitches. Our standard double stitched picots that we're making is this 1/4 inch mark right here. Okay? Right before the 1/4 inch mark. Now we're going to put in our other 5 double stitches. That's 2, 3, That's 4 and 5. Okay, we got 5 double stitches here, and it keeps it being a twisted system. And that's what it's going to look like. You're going to have your ring and your chain with your 1 picot. All right. You want to make your picots the same size. Let me see what this was about. Pam, I just got your message from last night. Don't ask me. I don't know what's going on. All right, so we're going to move on. The next one we have has a star in front of it. So what do we need to do? We need to go look at this picture. Okay, I wonder why it has a star in the middle. All right, it is because we're going to join in the middle. Remember, this is the middle part. And she said to have a picot large enough for 3 joints. Okay, so that's what we're working on. So this one here is 3 join, 3 picot, 3. And she says join to first picot of previous large ring. Okay, so we're going to look at this. We're reversing our work. We're going to look at this. Now there's our first picot of this ring. So this ring that we're going to work on is going to join right here on this ring. I love these instructions that Eileen put in. Okay, she was thinking for beginners. All right, so we're going to put in 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now we got to join to here. Now if you've got a pick on your shuttle like this one, you can reach down in here through that picot, grab your thread and pull it up. All right, and join. I will inevitably use a tiny crochet hook. Be careful, don't stab your fingers. Don't leave blood all over your work. Nobody wants your blood. All right, now grab your thread and pull it through. Here's a trick, guys. All right, put it on your finger. All right, that keeps it from falling and getting twisted, sister. Because if your picot gets twisted and you join, it will show as a knot. Okay, so take your shuttle 1, run it up through there, and then pull that right on down and set that join in place. Normally on joining picots, I have very small picots. Okay, but because we are learning today, we're going to use larger picots so that we can see what we are doing. Okay, as you get better, you will find that the smaller picots make the piece look better. All right, does that make sense? All right, so we got 3 picot join, and now we've got 3. Now we've got another picot to go in. That's that same size picot right there, the quarter. Put it in and do our last 3 double stitches. All right, we're going to close that ring. Now, to close this ring for you new students, you pull it like this. You see how I got it in my hand? I'm holding my tatting with my thumb, and I've also got this ring laid out. Well, that by holding it the way I held it, okay, you can just slide it all together and nothing gets mishappened. Okay, and then start pulling and pull and pull. And if you keep that pinch intact and your thread twists, you don't end up with a knot at the base of your ring. Okay, so there you go. We've got ring 1, a chain, ring 2. Well, guess what? We're moving on to another chain. And it's just like the previous chain. It is 5 picot 5. Remember, we have to reverse work where it says reverse work. So it's an automatic between elements. Each one of these is an element. These are terms you're going to hear throughout the classes to all you new students. The ring is an element. This chain is an element. The picot is an element. Okay? But your picots on your rings and your picots on your chains are with the element. Does that make sense? They're all one part of one element. So let me know if y'all understand that. Do I need to explain it further? Because if I do, I will. I don't mind. I love doing this, taking time to show you what you need to know. If I had my way, everybody would tat because it's a stress reliever. Okay? It gives you mind focus. Okay? It gives you busy hands. Tatting is a healer. Trust me, I know this from my experience. Tatting can heal you in many ways. All right? Let it do its job. All right, now we got to put in our next chain. It's 5 picot 5. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Put our picot gauge in, and we're keeping our picots the same size. Okay? That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, you notice that I keep my picot gauge in place until I finish the element. Well, if it had more picots, it would move with the picots, but it would stay in place until time for the next one. Okay? The reason I do that is to keep my picots as uniform as possible. All right? Now, if they're uniform, your chains are uniform, your rings are uniform, everything looks nice and neat. And that's what you want. Because if you're learning to tat, you're going to want to go further than learning. Now, you can enter competitions at fairs and craft shows and win money. You can make tatted lace jewelry and make money. You can do like I do and teach at different places and make money. It is a job. But I'm a firm believer, if you do a job you like to do, you're not really working. How do I know this? I worked a job I truly loved for almost 20 years. So, yeah, I never felt like I was working. All right? And for those of you that would like to know what I did that was so fun, I'm the lady that came into stores and moved things and you couldn't find them. But I loved the job. I was what they call the reset specialist. My job was to come in literally and move stuff around. And what it was for is to clean the shelves and stuff and get all the ick out and then put up new product. And I did that for almost 20 years and I loved every minute of it. So I like the travel part. I'm just saying. Now the next large ring is going to be the same ring that we did here. Okay. That's why I went ahead and started it. But you're going to join here with your first picot. Second picot is going to join here, and your third picot is going to go over here and wait for the next ring. All right. So let's continue on. That's 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I made a lot of people mad every time I went into a store. Well, where did they put this? They didn't put it nowhere. I did. And I will tell y'all a funny that did happen to me. I worked for Bob Evans for a while, and they carried Bob Evans. I don't know if y'all have it in your stores, but Walmart was a big provider of Bob Evans merch. And I was resetting one of the freezers, stand-up freezers. And I was in there just doing my due diligence and doing my job. And here comes some guy, and he closed the door. I was tiny then, very tiny. Do you know those things are vacuum sealed? They are. I was locked in the stand-up freezer. I was beating on the glass, and then because it was open, it was steamed up. All I was doing was cleaning the shelf, checking dates, making sure y'all didn't get rotten food. And so, needless to say, the guy walks up, and without thinking, he didn't mean no harm. He just closed the door. I was locked up in there. Hi, Brenda. And here I am beating and banging on the door trying to get out. And he turned around, and he didn't realize I was in there. And he said, "Where'd you come from?" I said, "I was here when you shut the door." And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he said, "I didn't even see you." I said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "I didn't know there's enough room for you to be locked up in there." I said, "Yeah, apparently I'm small enough. I fit in here just right along with the meat." Back then, I weighed like 110 pounds soaking wet. Okay. And yeah, getting locked in a freezer, a stand-up freezer, no, wouldn't want to do it. I went into the big freezer in the back. They have, you can close the door behind you, and they've got a button you push that'll open it. And Walmart, I never went into theirs. I didn't like Walmart. Didn't like it when I had to go into Walmart, because you had to go in at 4 o'clock in the morning. All right, Brenda, you will get to see that when we get to the end. Okay, I will teach you all that. We're working on the pattern right now. All right, I'll work it into the classes for you. How's that sound? Because that's part of tatting. We got to have these ends. All right. Let's see. We got 4 picot, 4 picot, and we got to put in our last picot. Last picot. 2, 3, and 4. As you can see, that loom I've got my hand on is getting tighter and tighter. When it gets too tight, before you tighten your shuttle up, pull back on that shuttle and watch it spin. It's like a little top. Can y'all see that? And that's the twist coming out. If you do that before you close your rings, especially with the Elizabeth thread, it'll pull that twist out enough so that it doesn't kink at the back side. And then you close your ring. All right, now, you see how we're developing here, this piece? See how it's all coming together? And when we get around to the last ring, okay, it's going to be, let me get to the page. It will be, this whole piece right here will be done. All of this. All right. So that's your homework tonight. Finish this section. Do not cut your ends. Do not cut your ends. I want you to work around to the very last ring. Stop. Because Brenda wants to learn how to tie in our ends using the magic thread trick. So this is a perfect solution for that. All right. So you're going to work all the way around. You're going to do the big ring, the little ring, the big ring, the little ring, the big ring, little ring, big ring, and stop. Because you've got one more chain and another little ring and a chain to do. And I'm going to show you how to hide your ends at that point. Okay. So I want you to finish this up, lay it to the side. Okay. Now, if you want to start 15 more on this and work with it, play with it, go ahead. We're going to walk this through until it's done. All right. And I want to take it slow so y'all can see how we get everything placed into position so that when we're done, we can sit a book on top of this thing and it's ready. We just make it pretty when we do that. We are going to finish it out completely. We're going to block it. We're going to make it ready to use, because that's the only way you're going to learn how to tat, is to walk it from point A to point X, okay, and Z. Okay, we're going to go through it all. All right, so let me switch the camera. Find my settings here. And we're back. Hi, how y'all doing? Did you miss me? Yes, you're right, Pam. The centerpiece would make great earrings in very many colors. And, you know, that's what I'm saying. You get a pattern, you can use it however you want to use it. That doesn't matter. It's what you come up with using this for that pattern that makes it yours. All right. So are there any questions on following these directions? You see how easy these directions are. Now, if you want to go ahead and work it forward, you can. But if you stop like I asked, then I can show you next week how to tie in those ends without knots. Okay? And I can also show you, ready for this, how to start without a knot. Think about that. You won't have a knot at the beginning of your work. So we're going to learn that. We're also going to learn how to climb out of a round using a split ring, a split chain, and moving out to the next round. Okay? So be ready. We are going to learn so much. But when we are done with the doily, before we put our edge on, you're going to be able to tat anything I hand you. All right? And this is something that I feel that many of you needed. Okay? So Brenda, next week, be ready. All right? And I want you all to be ready. I want you to get you a, what size picots on size 10? What you feel like. She doesn't have a measurement, so it's up to you. If you want it frilly and pretty, make big picots. The bigger the picot, the prettier it is. That's what gives it the delicacy. All right. Oh, you're welcome, Mary. Thank you. I want everybody to bring in gum floss threaders. Okay. Your magic thread trick stuff. I know a lot of you have seen it, but if you get gum floss threaders, they're what people that wear braces use to floss their teeth with. If you can get those, you can use that piece of wire out of a bread wrapper. That works. Another thread works. Okay. So, but you want it smaller than the thread you're working with. Okay. Remember that. You don't want to pull two big, bulky threads through. All right. So bring your thread, your shuttles, your needles, and let's move on. Now, for needle tatters, I'm sure if you're needle tatting, you know how to start and stop and do all that. And, oh, for the large picot, I would do, if you're using this picot gauge, I would move for the large one instead of the 1/2. I would go up one more notch for the large one. Yeah, fire line is fishing line. You can use fishing line too. And I'll show y'all how to make that if you want. I have a whole bunch of them somewhere over here. They're in here somewhere. One of these. There we go. There we go. All I had to do was look. You can tell this is my craft room. I got everything. All right, this is what they call fire line. Okay, beaters use it. All right, the nice thing about this, you can pull your tails through and you can fold it out of your way and it holds its shape. Okay, so you can use that. Anything small like this you can use, but the gum floss threaders is what we normally tell you to use. And I don't see mine. Well, I do see mine. Oh boy, I'm batting 1,000, folks. I knew I had some. These are gum floss threaders. That's what they look like. Y'all see that? I got clear ones in here. That's fishing line. There's the floss threader. Eat out there. That's what it looks like. Just got a little bitty loop. So, there you go. Now, bring those, and I will show you next week how to tuck in your ends. We'll just call it that. It's actually hiding your ends, but I call it tucking in because it's fun. I look for fun ways. All right, that's not going to go back in there. All right, fine. We'll just use you next week. Now, any questions, guys? Any questions? Are y'all stumped? Anybody stumped on anything? Most of all, I want you to have fun. Okay? If you make a mistake, you just cut it out and start over. That's how we do things. I can show how to sew it in as well. You send in what you want to know to Pam. Pam, you get the list together and I plan the class around the list. How's that sound? And that's what we'll do. We'll work on things. We'll use this pattern as a learning tool for things you all need to know. How is she going to learn? What, you sew in your ends? I do too. I don't like messing with the floss threaders. I'd rather sew them in because to me it's easier and it's relaxing. It's like ironing. I like to iron too. Yeah, I'm crazy. Okay, question. What's your question, Mary? Oh, I can understand typos. Just don't worry about it. Okay, she's got a question. You want to do, let's see, we've done, how many rings we got in here? We got the first three. 1, 2, 3. You're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 rings and stop. So, what you're going to end up doing, fingers, work with me today. Please work with me. Oh. All right. You're going to work to this ring. Large ring right here. Okay? That's where you're going to stop. Because, wait a minute. Am I missing something? 1, 2. All right, it says continue around from star until there are 4 large and 4 small rings. Join the base of first ring and chain and cut and tie. Do I ever tat using the ball? Not usually. The reason I don't use it on video, have you ever seen a ball fly? Trust me, if my shuttles can fly, a ball of thread's going to go crazy in this room. And if you saw the floor in this room, it would just blow you away. There's beads down there I haven't found. Yeah, it is more difficult to use a ball of thread in this room. But if I've got a large doily that I'm working on, it's all one color, rather than have all these ends to hide in, I will climb out through rounds. Okay. I will tat with the same one color and fill up 2 huge shuttles that I have. So I don't have to do any cutting and tying or anything. Ends is not my fun thing. Yeah, dodgeball. Yeah, you could call it that. But I always use 2 shuttles for teaching class. And it's because I don't like chasing the ball of thread. Okay. And it's hard to keep your thread on your table when it's constantly moving. Whereas when I'm in the, say I'm in the living room watching TV, I've got my tatting bag sitting in my lap with the ball of thread in it, you know, and that's the way I go. But a lot of the patterns I have, the tatting changes direction so much that, yeah, it would be difficult to keep it with a ball of thread. And as you progress in your tatting, you'll find using 2 shuttles is easier to carry around. One, you'll find it is helpful on techniques that are more advanced. The actual tatting technique is the same, but you have other techniques that are very advanced that you have to switch from shuttle 1 to shuttle 2 and use shuttle 2 as shuttle 1. There are tatting techniques that require 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shuttles. So, and that's what I say. When you finish these classes, you'll be able to use 8 shuttles if you want to. Okay. The most I have ever personally used, I used 8 once when I learned the helix tatting. I'm not crazy about it. I'm not fond of using 8 shuttles. Now, if I could do helix 2 shuttles, maybe 4 shuttles, yeah. But I have used 4 shuttles at a time for padded tatting. Yeah, you'll learn that too. It could be, Mary. It could be because the ball thread intimidates you. Okay. Some people, the 2 shuttles imitate. I believe in starting out with 2 shuttles because you are eventually going to go to that because of the tatting patterns. You can't tat the monster doily with 1 shuttle and a ball of thread because of all the twists and turns in the monster doily. Okay, so you just gotta have 2 shuttles. Now, mind you, when we travel, I'm tatting, so I don't need a ball rolling around in the truck either. So I have lost a hook in the truck. I found it. I'm not saying anymore. Georgia told you the story about being poked with the hook. Just, she got poked in the finger. I ain't going to discuss where I got poked. End of story. Let your imagination fly. 4 big rings and 3 little rings is what you're going to do. The 4th ring, okay, and that the 2 chains in the 4th ring, or the 4th little ring, that you don't want to do because you've got to get your thread, floss threaders and stuff in place, whatever you're using. All right, when you wind 2 shuttles, let me show you this little trick here. All right, when you wind this shuttle, your first one, wind your thread around that outside of that shuttle, okay, and just keep winding it until you feel like that's enough to fill your second shuttle. Now, this would be the ball, okay? So, all right, let me do this real quick. Pretend I'm not attached. All right, well, I am attached. I can remedy that. I can. That's my game. All right, now, I just got through filling this shuttle. Now, I've got to put thread on this shuttle, the second shuttle, all right? Now we're going to pretend, just for now, all right? Get that out of the way. Get in there. Hide. Now, pretend that this is still attached to this ball of thread. Now, what we're going to do, when you come off, it's coming off the shuttle here. See that? That's coming off the shuttle. You just start wrapping it around that shuttle. Okay? And you wrap it. Just like that. And you wrap until you feel like that's enough to load your other shuttle. Then snip it. Then load your second shuttle. Okay? And you'll be loading it from this shuttle. Now, I'm going to tell you my little trick that I use when I do this. I overload the first shuttle just a little bit. Okay? So that I can have a balanced amount on both shuttles. Now, you wind the second shuttle, you find out you're a little short. Okay? That's fine. Pull from the extra on shuttle 1. Okay? If you're not short, you divide the overage between the two and wrap it. It's not going to hurt your shuttle because you're going to be using it right now. Now, if you load the shuttle overloaded, it will stretch your blades. These are the blades, and it will stretch them out here, and they'll be separated. Okay? Once they're separated, they're not going to hold your thread very well. In fact, that's when you drop your shuttle and it rolls and rolls. And the whole time it's rolling, it's unthreading your shuttle. So you don't want that. So if you overload your shuttle, be sure it's used up before you put it away. Okay? Use up to where it's not overloaded. Okay? And you'll be able to get the feel of it. So practice it. You're welcome. You're welcome. Any more questions? That's what I'm here for. I give you the answers. If I ain't got the answers, I have it next week. I ask somebody. I do that. I'm in a good mood today. Can y'all tell? So, any questions? Remember, you're just doing round 1. We're just going to work round 1. I want to get you all up to where everything makes sense. You love that shuttle 2 tip. Awesome. All right, Teresa Oren says if you use 2 shuttles cut from the ball, then you can always rewind a shuttle when they run out of thread. That's right. Otherwise, buy 2 colors of the 2 colors of thread you're using, or buy 2 balls of the same thread if it's a 1 color pattern that you're going to do. Jax, you're fine. You can watch the replay. We didn't do a lot. Not a lot, did we, guys? So, now, after we got through all that good stuff today, what'd y'all think? Did y'all learn something? You come to class and you learn one thing. You have progressed in your tatting. You learned 2 things. You've double progressed. Awesome, Jackie. That makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm fulfilling what Georgia asked me to do. Okay? So, with that said, Next week, we're going to pick up where we left off. We're going to learn how to tie in our little ends, you know, and sew them in and do that. We'll do all that fun stuff. All right. The hard stuff. We'll get it out of the way. And when we finish this doily, you're going to know more about tatting than the average beginner. All right. So with that said, you all have a wonderful rest of the week. Don't forget, Sue's got, I believe, isn't it tomorrow, Pam, that Sue's having class, or what? I may be mistaken. Look for Sue's announcement. She's doing it every other week. Hers is first and third week. I'm confused. Katia's, Sue's Thursday, Katia's tomorrow. She's the needle class. Once Panina comes in, I'll be working with her, with you guys, to get her trained to start running the beginners class. All right. So with that said, have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend. Love you guys. And I'll see you all next week. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.